Shaggy. I am Philalitheia, wherever, whenever you are, and this finds you. I hope it finds you well. I don't feel like looking that way. It's hard to see the chat from this direction, though. Here we go. I'm a little bit stoned, and here we are. I have been told that when I'm doing the singing part, the microphone is better on my camera now, my phone. Ugh. And we wait. Ugh. Ugh. Rachel's busy at work. I'm still waking up. It's a good day to be alive. She wants to go grocery shopping and stuff after she gets home from work. So the show's gonna end at 2. We're gonna go out. We'll be back. And we'll play as much Final Fantasy X as I can. I might end up breaking this off before then to play some Final Fantasy X to make sure I get that grind in today. I don't know. I'm talking to no one right now. So I'm going to end up repeating all of this. And that's cool. That's how these go. Gross. Pills are awful. Spent some time looking at my work this morning. And I know this about me, but if I just took some time stepping outside myself, looking for reinforcement that my work has a place on the internet, I've spent a long time talking about communication. Hello, Jan. Good morning. Are you a Jan or a Jan? Or a John, for that matter. Can you wait the 5 seconds it takes for you to hear my hi back? I understand. There's still a delay. You can't hear anything, says Jen. No, I did not know that you cannot hear anything. Are you a Jan or a John? Or a Jan? The fan must be particularly loud. What's up, deadbeat? You're Mia? Okay. You sound like you might be too young for my channel, darling. What are you wooding? I look very nice. I think I look like I just woke up. Morning, Dave. How's it going? Who digs, Dave? I look interesting, Jan? Thanks, Dave. Well, I am claimed, Jan. There is a Mrs. Shaggy Philalitheia. Morning, Mark. What's up, buddy? You ever think about that word begrudgingly? You ever done anything begrudgingly? Like, I'm still going to this job begrudgingly. Heard that long. Thanks for being here at all, buddy. Take care and get what needs doing. Kick that ass right in the seat of the pants. I don't have children, and just don't worry about it, Jan. You don't need to know where I am. I'm at home. I live here. Probably not. I'm not going to be able to remember Mia. Jan is on the screen. That's what I said. Is that a problem for you? I see. Good morning, Rachie. Good morning, Giancarlo. It is a good morning, Rachie. No, thank you, Jan. Not feeling that dumb shit. I wouldn't say I got a house, but I would say I'm in a house. Tell me you only tune in to throw shade without telling me anything about you. You remember that term, throw shade? I bet Rachie remembers that term, throwing shade. That's what y'all are. That's what the internet is on so many levels. It's just throwing shade on people's dreams. Like Timmy. Just going around causing harm to people. People who never did anything to you. Didn't even know you existed. Never cared to learn that you existed. And then there you were, throwing shade. I wouldn't say that I've got a house. Joshua Tree. Shade is big litigation. I don't know if you've ever really thought about the idiom, Rachel, but if you own a property, the person next to you puts up a tree that kills the grass in your yard with its shade. Their throwing shade in your yard has now made you look ugly. Okay, Rachie. So these people come around and see somebody doing all right, getting likes, not causing any real trouble, not encouraging people to violence, not lying to people, most certainly. And so the best they can do is just throw shade over and over and over and over again. It's just the only way they know how to interact. This is what I do for a living. And they make me look ugly by association. Because the only people in chat are people like them. So they encourage other people to join in. And this is a choice. None of this is by accident, and none of this is the first time. This is just a habitual positioning of oneself in opposition to people you've never met. Just because. Just because. Because he knows he can get away with it. So you're in Florida, somebody asks you a question you don't like, you can literally jam a gun in their mouth and say that they came at you. Here, this one too. They never hear it. When you say, if you got nothing nice to say nothing at all. What happened to that, Rachel, is that mothers started using it to abuse their children. It absolutely is true. As long as you're white. And the person you do it to has got as much money as this guy. State's not going to prosecute. Oppositional for no reason. Y'all done fucked up now. I got a microphone and I can do this. I can just point out the shit you're saying for the people watching. I don't have to read you anymore. You can just go this right here. Oppositional for no reason. Example, the fifth in a row, I think. I think outside of Rachie, everyone who's spoken has been an example of what I was talking about and helped me build my argument. They didn't actually erode my argument in any way. They just helped me steel man it. Thank you for that. Repetition in fives is more than you need. You shouldn't need more than two to be able to do it on your own. Ironic. So if you understand the definition of irony, it's saying something other than what you mean. And here, this is irony. Sarcasm is irony with derision. So we might even say sarcasm right here, right? Irony intended to deride, a demand intended to deride, point the sixth, example the seventh. Just throwing shade for no reason. Just trying to ugly my grass for no reason. Yeah, just derisive for no reason. Derisive for no reason. And because nobody else is joining in to say anything else, no one's joining in to build my argument or to pivot to some better topic. They're just derisive for no reason, just over and over and over. It's just going to keep going because they're not listening to what I'm saying. I do, Rach. I don't like waking up to being bossed around. But yeah, I do. That's how it goes. On the internet, they're known as griefers. On the internet, they're known as griefers. But it's just shade. It's just shade for no reason. Their lives suck. They don't have working solutions to make them better. The people of the opposite sex to whom they're attracted are with more attractive people. The people of the same sex to whom they get their sex, from whom they get their sex, are not interesting and valuable people in their own rights. The work that they do is for dead-end jobs that don't want them there, that they don't want to be at. They don't have fulfilling artistic or social engagements. I just don't care what any of them says. It's all slander. Every bit of it. It's okay, Rachie. I seem to be disappointed and mildly agitated, Chris. Oh, none of you is grown men. 24-ounce Jack is not a grown man. That's a 9-year-old. Yeah, you take care, Rachie. The funny thing is that a lot of these people are repeat viewers. And now they'll go to my shorts or they'll go to my videos and they'll leave a comment. Whatever. I'm no more afraid or concerned of your random and arbitrary scorn and derision than I am that of the next person to bring it to my doorstep. I don't care. When we say we could care less, it means we could effort to care less. And so it bothers us. But to say that we could not care less means that there just is not less that one could care. And I just could not care less. What about me, Miss Mariana? I'm realer and more present in your life than Jesus is. So what about me? Hello, Victorious. Good morning, Victorious. That's my fiance's work. I'm sure she's available for commission at Emanon 143. Get at it, Rusty. Work that needs doing needs doing. The longer you use your thumbs, the less likely you are to be doing the work that needs doing. So get it done. I know I don't have the amazing background noise that I used to have, and that I could probably put on white noise on the TV or something. Or I could be streaming Final Fantasy X, but I am enjoying the silence immensely, and I know that Juno is. And yeah, the faint hum of electricity and the whir of the fans is moderately overstimulating, but we could turn those things off with music. I could sing if I wanted to. I don't. I'm in a lot of pain right now. And using my core muscles to sing is going to agitate that more than I need to, and I'm going to be on my feet later today. So I really need to conserve energy for that. Yeah. No, Tommy. The radiating agony from the mere thought. I may be in a very rapid decline toward a stay in a hospital. I'm doing everything I can. I know YouTube is pushing my channel, Liam. I have some of the best retention rates on YouTube. The people who come around and engage with what's going on the channel and respect me as a creative person, as an imaginative person, as an orator, as a speaker, as a thinker, as a communicator, and as a community builder. The people who come around and respect the community that I'm building and me as a leader, those people stay for a long time, a humbling amount of their lives. That's what I was meditating on. I no longer have the crickets and the birds and the lovely background noise that I used to have. And that is going to change my retention rates. They are going to remain retention rates of friendship, frankly, parasocial relationships that I'm under a lot of stress to maintain, humbled by that stress. So yeah, YouTube is pushing my channel. I get a lot of through traffic. And I engage with and I retain that through traffic, unlike very many live streamers. Because you can go get your name written in sand by that chick who calligraphies names in sand. Or you can go have your name written on the peel, the membrane inside the eggshell of an egg that's being peeled by some Chinese woman. Or you can listen to a World War III nut job tell you that the Jews are trying to take over the world. Or you can listen to a Russian neo-pagan communist tell you fucking lies. Or you can listen to a college-educated dickhead give you a remedial course on anything. Or you can hang out with me. Those seem to be the options. And I find that bleak as well. That's why I encourage all of you to make your own channels. I'm not here to throw shade. I'm here to tell you that there's a giant fucking field waiting for us to put a solar farm on it. Because it's not gonna despoil the ground. We, you, me, are not going to ruin YouTube. We're not gonna ruin it. If we start to cut away, chip away at Mr. Beast until we no longer see Mr. Beast in gas stations, we have won. That is not despoiling the ground. That is cleaning it. That is the communist revolution you dickheads all want. We do not have to be satisfied with and settle for an economy that gives 80% of the profits to 20% of the producers. We don't have to be settled with this. This does not have to be the way it is. I won't settle for it. I won't settle for a world where the Pauls are the biggest attraction in fighting sports. If that's what you believe, Jay, if that's what it requires for you to never bring the subject up again, then believe that and never bring the subject up in my presence again. There was a time in American social life when the thing that didn't need to be said just wasn't said. It was acknowledged silently. You can bring it up all you like, Jay. I said kindly don't, and you asked me why, after I have articulated that my father used to beat my fucking ass for asking why. I said, please, effectively. I said, kindly, never say it again. And you asked why. And so what I can't do is reach across the screen and put a my hand size print on your face for you to walk around with for the next week, explaining what you did wrong to strangers. So you just never speak to me in my presence again. Hello, Striker. Kindly never bring it up again, Striker. It's Rachel's work, Striker. Hello, Great Night. I'm mildly agitated. How are you? I'm trying to make a point blue balls. Maybe. Brutal impact. This is a reprehensible habit. I have never once done it, endorsing that people don't begin. But I'm going to have one. I'm the nicotine addict, Striker. And frankly, my teeth hurt as a result. I most certainly have gum disease. I know I have severe tooth rot. I like that painting as well. I'm sure you could commission it from Emanon143 here on YouTube. EMANON 143. I prefer not to talk about the chemical intake because it sounds like endorsement, especially to young people. There are certain young people in my life that say things like, oh, it seems so cool, or you seem to handle it so well. And it's like, yeah, I am a functional addict. I used to get dangerously stoned, like to the point of blacking out, and then get on my bicycle and ride 2 miles or whatever it was to work, half an hour to work. Suicidally addicted. Don't do the things that I have done because I have told stories about them. If I am cool, if I have a certain je ne sais quoi that is in its own way, I know, Poke, you're my age. I'm specifically talking to I have young people who do watch my audio, my shit. I know I do. Because they're in my comments hurt that they seem to like me, but I don't like their shit. The generational divide is serious and real on my channel. because young people want to be involved in the internet, and I'm making shit for who I was when I was 15. So I'm not uninviting it, but I'm also saying, check yourself at the door, make sure that your parents know you're here, sort of thing. Because I also have adults, and I can't stop people like Brian from saying shit like that when I'm talking about the presence of young and influential minds. Hello, Jester. It's one moment at a time, Jester. That's how my day is. It's Rachel's work, Poke. I'm sure if you wanted one for your office, she'd make you one. But she's going to be backlogged at this point. You guys are going to give her so much work, she's going to put herself in a fucking coma. The silences are less endearing. What does it matter to you, Jester? Maybe I am flat right now. Maybe I am down right now. Maybe I am chilled. Well, what does it matter? You seem very off-put. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And you are off-put. So just leave. Do you guys comment on every single thing you see? Every single? And I'm just the one that talks back? See, the thing is, I know that I'm the void you're trying to get to shout back. And so I'm aware that for us, this is a game of who cracks first. I've been saying I am the whole time. Russian dipshit. No, I don't have any kids, Tags. I've answered that question in your presence. You were probably too busy working your thumbs. You can't do two things at once. Focus on the one. If you can't look and listen, put down the phone. If you can't listen and type, disengage your thumbs. You ever think about learned helplessness? I'm waiting for the person who shows up and says, "Well, I would comment, but all you ever do is talk shit about or to your audience. You're just so combative. Why are you so aggressive? Why are you so mean to everybody?" And the natural answer, because oftentimes people will then step up to defend me, and the natural answer is, I mean, look at the things they're saying. And I said that I've been saying I am the whole time. And then I called you a Russian dipshit. I remember I was there. And so it seems like I'm dissuading new comments. Maybe my responses are a developed language. Maybe they're a mature language. And so the fear of the passerby who only sees that, who only sees how quickly I can respond to the barrage of shit that's thrown at me. There's a certainty or a, hey, Enoch, I'm doing all right. There's a certainty that they'll get it too. But really what it is that they haven't figured out the rules of the game. Good morning, Juggalo. Thank you, Cheese Pod. It's my fiance's work. That's right, Pope. I do know that. Thank you, Enoch. They're both righteous. Yeah, if you let it, the ceiling fan will auto-hypnotize you. It's auto-hypnotic. I've been sitting here tripping out to the fucking shadows for days now. Reflections in that fucking tin. The reflection off my screen right now. It's just... It's like being under a permanent strobe light. Love you too, Enoch. It'll make me nauseous because it'll turn off my consciousness. It's trippy as fuck, Juggalo. I don't know how she doesn't notice it. Or she's just tuned it out. All's well, Deborah. Did I take something? I took my backpack. I'm sure she'd make you one, Enoch. In fact, I know she would. I know it in my bones. I know this bitch. I've been inside her mind. I'm right here, Deborah. I didn't go anywhere. Sure she would. She's busy AF right now. But she's also distracted with what she's doing because she's trying to figure out how she's going to juggle the time plus sleep plus my dumbass. She just took her headphone out of her ear and looked at it like, how the fuck? Now she's laughing. I kind of like the sound of traffic outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's probably compressed in the mic, and you can probably hear all of my shifting in the blanket. But you'll be all right. It's good for you. Secret window? Yeah, with Depp. Are you suggesting that I look like an eccentric writer? with ex-wife issues, ex-girlfriend issues that are still lingering, and I'm very distant from where those happened. And there's a Latin woman who makes sure I don't fall asleep on the couch in my work. That's probably a literal description of my actual life. And like that movie, it's all about the ending, man. I don't have a secret window or a garden out back of the house. You don't have to worry about my ex-wife and whatever dude she's stupping right now. 42 and Windy, heard that book. Yes, stags. I had an ex that grew for a while. Okay, Russian guy. Like I don't have financial trouble now. Okay. No, shrooms were terrible. Just sitting in silence was a more powerful experience. Why would I have stopped with the weed, and when have you not seen me smoking it? Again, if you can't watch and listen, pick one or the other. Who didn't like what? Melancholy King. The cat's fine. I haven't made any loud noises. Is a bong the only way to take THC? Liam? You've never seen me use a bong. None of you. Second stream, pal. I get all aggressive now. Yeah, I know my dick's smaller than yours. And you look like a Joshua, Joshua. As nondescript as the beige pants you wear everywhere. Well, Alice, you obviously don't know how gay sex works. That one's not, Liam, no. They don't look like that. The silence is nice. I don't really pass time, Liam. I don't know, Mark. It's going one moment at a time. Christopher, how are you? Oh, that was only that moment, Benjamin. This is what I've been up to, Chris. Where am I at? I'm in Rachel's house, Chuber. I wouldn't say that I got a house, no. Yes, Christopher. Probably not, Tags. Not differently from your perspective. It's all right, Juber. She keeps it cold. Sure, Tags. But again, not things that you would understand. It's not warm in here right now. Don't tell me what to do, Liam. I don't know, Christopher. I don't know the difference in an alligator and a crocodile. Been here for 2 days and you guys are asking me like I grew up here. No. I've seen tile. You guys think I'm fucking Crocodile Dundee? Yep. That's it, Linear. You fucking nailed it. Maybe, Chris. They're not like fucking stray dogs. Maybe they are underground. What have you been watching? Doing my best, Chris. Oh. Mm. Hey, Jim, good morning. Glad to hear you're having a good day, Chris. Did I lose you underground? Thank you, Chris. It's an original piece by Rach. Yes, Ron. I slept fine, Jim. Pretty sure Rach headbutted me right in the face, but it's whatever. I don't know. So if I seem concussed today, maybe it's because I am. Do I have any blood in my ears? How bad she get me? I don't think I'm bleeding. I don't think she got me bad enough that we're in any real danger. Oh, I think my head is just adjusting to the difference in pressure. Like, I have both of my nostrils for the first time in years. Ow! Talk about individualism. Oh, you're watching my really old stuff, Underground. So I have pathological demand avoidance, and you're welcome to be here, but I don't respond well to demands. And so I understand that what you're telling me is that you have a limited familiarity or a limited comfort with your keyboard, and that's fine. I'm not here to make fun of you. I'm not here to criticize you. I'm here to try to work through what is for me a demand that my brain now has to avoid fulfilling. Individualism is a big topic to just kind of talk about on a, what is this, Wednesday, Tuesday morning. It's a big topic. But basically, because I think now that you've watched my talking to myself gaming, you're talking about my very old work. If we're talking about individualism, and that would be my extreme individualism episode for anybody who hasn't gone back. I actually made a video. Thank you, Underground. I'm working with you here. I'm doing my very best. Thank you. I made a video about how I have a lot. I have like 2,300 followers now that I know have just not gone back and looked at my old catalog. So thank you. In extreme individualism, I talked about how the Viking ethos that came to the English speaking world when the Vikings of the 1200s, the Vikings through the 1200s, I'm sorry, the Vikings from something like 700 or 900 through about the 1200s, they kind of dominated Western European, especially Northwestern European culture. So if you think about the sea trade lines from maybe west of Marseille all the way up to Scandinavia, and then the rivers that go through that, all of that in Western Europe was controlled by Vikings, by Scandinavians, by one name or another. The Franks are a Scandinavian people. They're from Denmark. They're Danish, or that might not be right, but Denmark is right because they're Southern Scandinavian. Now, if you read a history, they're going to try to tell you that they're Germanic, that they're from Aarhus, because Pepin the Great moved from Denmark to Aarhus, but his family ties are in Denmark. Their family ties throughout the Frankish area and much of the British Isles, all these family ties, they go back to Denmark. That's why the Beowulf story is so important to these people around 1200. So you've got Arthur, who's Celto-Gaelic, right? If you know what Europe looks like, I'm kind of drawing the northwestern portions of France, the southwestern portion of Britain, what we call Wales, and like Southern Ireland. like that, and then parts of Scotland. They've got Arthur, but they've also got this connection to Beowulf in all of that area. And the reason they have that connection to Beowulf in all of this area is because they're all tied genetically back to this area, back to Denmark, parts of Sweden, and Norway, not Finland yet, and then definitely the Netherlands and whatever that area is that's directly north of Germany that sits right there. I can't think of what that's called. And then Poland is sort of tangentially, but different, because the Slavic peoples were considered lesser beings to the Nordics. They traded in slaves in the Slavic peoples. They raided them. Okay, so individualism in the Viking worldview, the broadly Nordic worldview that by the 1200s had worked its way into the English-speaking language, is one of individualism. It's one where, and this has worked its way into modern Christianity because it was always kind of there, because modern Christianity, not modern Christianity, ancient Christianity, proto-Christianity even, was even the, if you read them critically, if you read them knowing what you're looking at, even, and I'm sorry, I'm doing Trevor voice, you're just gonna have to cope. If you look at many of the biblical stories, and even like when we were reading Hesiod the other day, if you look knowing what you're talking about, knowing what you're looking at, much of the ancient world's religion was in opposition to Nordic religion, Nordic worldview. And the Nordic worldview is one of individualism, because they didn't have huge cities and massive populations. They lived in the fucking mountains of Scandinavia. They didn't have these massive populations. They didn't have cities to worry about. They didn't have infrastructure like roads and river systems that they needed to manage, because lots and lots and lots of people were on them until about the 1200s. You see? And so Europe, now that it's all Christian, including the rapidly Christianizing Polish world, right? The rapidly Christianizing Slavic world in the 1200s is rapidly Christianizing. When the Skandos fell, the trade, it became impossible to only trade with pagans, so to speak, non-Christians. In the I want to say in the 1100s, maybe in the 1000s, the Germanic peoples, not their king, but their peoples were just getting up and going over into Poland and desecrating their holy sites in the name of Jesus, to the point that Polish kings were saying, all right, Christians aren't allowed in our cities. They're not allowed in our cities. They're not allowed in our towns. They're not allowed to trade with us. And we're not doing trade deals with Christian kings. And it started to really fuck up the Central European, specifically the German economy. So when the Skandos converted, when the kings all said, okay, we're Christian now, the Polish didn't have anybody to trade with to the east, because Russia's a fucking blighted wasteland when it comes to trade. And they couldn't get access down to the Silk Road because they didn't have anything that China wanted. And so in order for them to get things from France and what we now think of as the UK, the British Isles, in order for them to get those things and trade and charge tariffs on them as they were going on their way to the Silk Road, in order for that to happen, they had to Christianize. They had no choice. Okay, so there's this Viking ethos of individualism, right? Because Christianity is not an economic religion. If you try to run an economy on what Jesus said, you'll get a gift economy, and you'll never be able to get bigger than tribal. You'll never be able to get bigger. You'll never be able to have a sustainable economy larger than 30 people, 30 adults. And that means adult men and their wives. And so what you can't do is sustain anyone who's not married and producing children. So all of those children who can't find mates in the tribe have to leave. They cannot be involved in the gift economy. You can't have more than about 30 adults in a gift economy. And so the Christian economy was a gift economy with thousands of people. And so the way they managed it was two ways, two very simple ways. And both of them are blanketed with when we're talking about individualism. Thank you for letting me do the talking to myself again. I've gone and forgot your name, but thank you. I don't see it on the screen right now. You know who I'm talking to. So we're talking about individualism, right? And how did we get to this blanket of individualism, right? Which is kind of this way, actually. The Christians did the opposite. They did communalism. You don't have an individuality. You don't have a name that's different from anybody else in the town. The town, thousands of people oftentimes. Dudes all had the same fucking name. You don't have a different name. You're not buried in a special way. They did this thing called charnel houses, where they would throw you in basically a sepulcher. Like, you know what they look like. They still have them at cemeteries. The great big stone rectangular house, like that looks like what a kid would draw, right? It's stone. It's got that door set in it, and that door is fucking locked. The reason that door needed to be locked is because there were bodies rotting in there. And so what they would do is they would periodically scoop out all the bones from in there. And this is actually a mystery that we don't fully know what happened. And I was reading a book recently about ghosts, and she goes into burial practices, and the things that they painted are very, very, very specific. And what they painted lines up with what we've found, not crypts. Charnel houses is what they're called. A crypt is a different thing. A crypt is a permanent resting place. What they found when they started digging up these deeply old medieval cemeteries is that there weren't full internments. We couldn't rebuild full bodies. And so what they would do is they would take, and this is what they depicted in the paintings, and I'm convinced that she's right. This isn't my idea, is that they didn't just charnel house you. Sometimes I think they would just take a part of you and inter that in a pit, which is horrific to me to think about, but they would just inter a part of you in a pit, and then the rest of you went God knows where. But it worked for their magic system because you don't have a personality. You're going to dissolve as a being. The soul that is you is going to dissolve and return to where they came from. And they call that heaven. And so long as you engage in the community in the right ways and you're a righteous person, you go up there. Well, around 1200, things got fucky. Things got fucky because by 1200, because of the gift economy, and this is where it's important, they managed it in two ways. The gift economy had people experiencing ghosts that could not find permanent rest. And it became a real problem for medieval Europe, just across Christian Europe. Okay, this is why. If I can remember those two things. Damn it. This is the old talking to myself format. You guys got to stop talking to me so fucking much. If you want me to respond to the things you're saying, now is not the time. Damn it. I had given myself the perfect segue, and then I looked at the screen and saw something other than those two things, and I've completely forgot what I was talking about. In part because I smoke a lot of weed, in part because I haven't eaten yet, and in part because my brain is Swiss cheese from concussions. So give me a second here. Let me talk about something else. Let me work back at the problem. Let me just try to remember what the hell I was thinking about at all. Right. The economy. The way the economy worked was twofold, okay? When you have this gift economy at the scale that they were running it, it works two ways. But those two ways are the same thing. It's a dyad, you understand? It's the same thing, and they work like the double helix of DNA to keep civilization from unraveling, okay? And the people, right? This is kind of basic communist theory. The people are the thread that holds these two pillars in, like, together in tandem, okay? And so the two pillars that the European economy used to divvy out their gifts was kings or bishops. Okay, and this is why for hundreds of years, beginning at Pepin the Great and ending not even ending at World War One. This is why the United States was so sketch about Kennedy and his Catholicism, never ending. The kings were in a constant battle with the very Pope over their gift exchanging, because the Pope wanted to own all of it. The Pope wanted to pass out all the gifts. This is why the Pope is the one who sneaks the crown on Charlemagne's head. The Pope needed to be the gift giver at all times. You don't have any individuality in this system. What the Vikings did, the Vikings brought this individuality ethos, because you live in the frozen north. If you're going to survive, you're going to thrive, you're going to have kids, you're going to make a name for yourself, you're going to have poems sung about you, you're going to become an immortal, you're going to become a god, you're going to go fight at Odin's side, you're going to do something important in your life. You cannot wait for other people to gift it to you. Can't. You have to go get it. And oftentimes that means you have to go take it from somebody else. And that's where extreme individualism comes in. And the modern ethos, the only way that you're going to be recognized as a somebody is if you've taken everybody's everything. Is that what you wanted? Underground plugs? Usually I would anticipate super chats, super likes at this point, Cash App, tips, whatever. But you've watched my work, which means that if you've watched the 2 hour, just that 2 hour video, you sat through an absurd amount of ads. So I'm not talking to you right now, Underground. 2 hours of ads is absurd. And if you're a YouTube Plus Premium, whatever it's called, subscriber, dibs, kudos, and grats. So I have no problem revisiting it with more information, because I think throughout I said that I'm going to have to revisit this with more information, because I'm still learning. I'm just reacting emotionally is what I was doing in that video. I was trying my best to hold it down while I was reacting emotionally. My head looks tiny with my hands so close. I look like I have the world's biggest hands, but I really don't. Don't have particularly big hands. It's an illusion, Michael. You understand where I'm coming from, IK Bonds? How could you be confused about where I'm coming from? I'm sitting in front of you. Like, if you were struggling with the tent, understand how you're doing this from a tent. I get that. But I'm in a house. Condo. I'm in a structure. Okay, Bonds. Thank you for sharing. I don't know how that's on topic, or how it's something that you're not share it with a therapist instead. I don't know you like that. And you're pivoting to the deeply personal after I said that I would typically anticipate after lecturing in that way. Super chats and super likes. So why are you pivoting to the personal? Six is my favorite. Bones. Again, why are you pivoting to the personal? No, I do not drive a truck. Bonds is like 2 or 3 minutes behind me. Why are you here, Beige? Well, I know you're not like your God. Just let Bonds realize that he's behind the show. Thoughts on royalty? What do you want my thoughts on royalty to be? Man, he's like 5 minutes behind. Hello, Elizabeth. Doesn't make any sense to respond to anything he's saying right now. He's not going to hear it for 5 minutes after he says it, or after I say it, or more. He's still at me asking him why he's pivoting to the personal. All set, Rach? Yeah, he's way behind. Yeah, that's why these people don't respond to me in ways that make sense. That's why they talk to me about things I can't remember that I've said. I've gone to lives. I know what it looks like when you're in a live and you're behind it. It tells you on the bottom right to skip forward. There's a little button right there, and it sits there for a while, right above the chat. Skip to current or whatever it says. I think what it tries to do is drop you in at a relevant moment, recent, if like I've been talking for a while. I think it tries to drop you at the beginning or like at a part where I seem to be in a pretty good flow. And so I think what they do is they come in and they say hi and I don't say anything because I'm fucking talking. And then they just try to fill my screen with words until I get distracted enough to just be paying attention to them. But oftentimes the things that they're saying, they think they're participating in the conversation in real time. Hi, Mikey. Yeah. And when they use the talk to speech, they literally talk over me. Like, if you just position the behavior and you think about it, whether you know the person's show or not, skip to live, very handy. Yeah. It's like the other day I was listening to a Patreon subscriber sent me a voice message because I've invited him to use me as a sounding board. And I listened to it while I was live, admittedly. And I've told him that I want to work on it as a project, and I just haven't yet because I've been working here. And so maybe I mess around with that. Maybe I mess around with that. Yeah, it's not just like talking over. It's like every time I would talk about what he was saying or address you guys, I couldn't listen to what he was saying and form sentences. I couldn't bring the words in and form sentences. It's like when somebody's talking to you about their day and you start texting someone else or you start scrolling Instagram, you can't actually listen to it. You might be able to say back the words to them that you heard, but you weren't listening. You weren't engaged in what they were saying. Well, yeah, I was. Yeah, he kept getting me off track because it's like, oh, that's a lot of words. I should be polite and glance down and see if he's building. No, he's not building out my argument. Okay, now what the fuck was my argument? Because I was patient and polite, and this is why professionals have a person on the other side of the room reading you guys. I wouldn't be able to see it, and they're telling me what I need to hear. This is why that's set up. I'm not complaining. I'm agreeing with you, Ron. Because yeah, I had hit that segue moment where I look like a genius. Because I told you there are two things. I described the shell. I brought you right back to it, and I forgot the two things because I looked down. That's on me. That's every public speaker. That's on me. That's why typically they have a podium and notes to remind themselves, or they memorize their speech. And my guy Plug, I told him that's a big thing, and I haven't talked about it in maybe almost 3 years. And so I knew I was going to stumble a little bit. But yeah, if I hadn't looked down, if I hadn't read that, if it hadn't been happening, and then the core behavior is one of, dude is talking, I'm going to talk, and then not being synced up with the show. And so it's a certain amount of like, if you think about it, if you just position it in a different place, if we were all like hanging out, if you were all here with me, like just imagine there are 17 of you in a little semicircle around me, right? And I'm talking to all of you in the way, and then he's fucking yammering on, right? And it's okay. I encourage it even, because sometimes scrolling back through, I can reinforce things that I missed. And that's why I was patient until he attacked Chris. Chris didn't do anything. Yeah, sure, you're relieving your First Amendment gland. But Chris didn't do anything to you. Especially because Chris said, "Oh, I just realized he's behind." And what he took that to mean is Chris is saying that he's just behind in the lesson I was giving. No, you're behind in the video, because he still hadn't got that. He was that far behind that he hadn't even got yet to me saying, "Oh, he's behind." Yeah, we're essentially all in the same room. Like, that's why they used to call chat rooms, right? You are effectively in a chat room. And oftentimes it is tangential to what I'm doing. I have a lot of my blue crew who just show up here to hang out in the chat room. That's what YouTube wants. I'm not being radical in my approach. It's what YouTube has asked me to do. Because an employment contract, or what you get paid for, right? It's an encouragement to do certain things. And so you'll hear, before I got on YouTube, I thought that working for YouTube was a nightmare of of loopholes and exploits. YouTube, you can make good money as a YouTuber. I avoid the exploits, the loopholes, and the get rich quick of it all, because what happens is the people get rich quick, and then their massive audiences expect the content to get better, and it always gets worse. Because everybody who gets rich quick thinks they're going to platform to be the next Jake or Logan Paul, or the next YouTube phenom who's become a Hollywood star. They all think they're gonna launch to the next thing and be off YouTube. That's funny, Great Night. That's charming. If you join the Discord and show me show me a screen cap that looks particularly cool. I might give you a surprise. Great night. What's it say that says, I don't know this channel. What's it, Lynn Diesel? Will you please tell me more about this, Ron? I don't know that person. And people have told me that I'm too aggressive about the YouTubers that I do know a lot about. So can you tell me about this person, please? So that I don't seem so reactionary and defensive of my territory? Because that's how I come off. I'm aware of that. Because I am. Because I am. No, Cindy, bless you, darling. Thank you for being here. Oh, yeah, he has to spend the money. Yeah, he has to spend the money. Yeah, the business expense of it all. Because no matter where he lives, once you make a certain amount of money as a creative, you either have to spend it or you have to give it all to the government. Yep. He has to keep his viewers and to not have to pay it all in taxes. Yeah. Yep. Millions. Has to. Or he has to give it all in taxes. Has to give it all back in taxes. It has to be these increasing business expenses, or he has to give all of it to taxes. And he should have to give it all to taxes. Like Rach and I were talking on the way down here. We were talking about property taxes and how high property taxes on single or even married couples that don't have children, that with the argument being that high property taxes pay for the local schools to be good, doesn't make sense, because it's a certain amount of robbing Peter to pay Saul, right? You're taking frankly the income that people who've worked to be able to own their home in your neighborhood that don't have children, and you're using that money to educate other people's children to take their jobs and their homes. It doesn't make sense. And she's right. She's 100% right. The argument doesn't make any fucking sense. But taxing artists makes a huge amount of sense, because artists tended to be dropouts. We tend to be dropouts from society, and we tend, those of us who are willing to do the get rich quick shit, we tend to be people who are doing crime before we got on YouTube. Tend. And so taxing artists to pay the people who are going to go work the factory jobs and buy homes and invest in the community, artists tend to leave. Tax them as much as you can while they're making the money in your city or your state. Do that, because when they leave, the kids who gave them all that money are going to be educated to fill jobs and might leave too. The ones who are like them, probably going to leave too. So you get your money from them while they're still in the community. She is right. And so if you really want your town to thrive, what you do is you invest in arts. You make arts, music, dance, the material arts like sculpture, painting, whatever, engineering, right? You make these things, you invest heavily you invest heavily in sports. You invest very heavily in that structurally at the bottom of your education, because the kids who are going to fall out of the gaps of the math, the science, and literature is an art, but the kids who are going to fall out of the gaps of math, science, and literature leads really well to clerical work. Rachel will tell you that she wanted nothing more. She wanted nothing more than an arts degree, and it became clerical work, and she's really fucking good at it. The skills that they teach you in literature and art lend really well to clerical work, and clerical work travels, right? Clerical work travels. That's the point. Clerical work travels. They can get even dropouts. They can get people who've been trained as artists, and they can tour them around the whole world keeping books because of individualism. Because the artist doesn't give a fuck about whether the community is upset that they're excellent at what they're doing. And you can invest in that. See, we stopped investing in that in the Cold War because communism, we were afraid that communism was a monoculture. And so that we had to become a monoculture. And so we did. We became a medieval Christian post-Viking monoculture in the United States. And I'm not the only person who said it. I'm not the only person who said it. I was reading Neil Price many months ago now, but I was reading Neil Price many months ago, and he said that what we today call capitalism, we should actually just call Vikingism, because the Vikings were doing the exact things that we're doing today, the exact things in the 500s AD to build their economy. And so even when we think about gangster or cronyism, like gangster capitalism or cronyism, that's Viking politics. We should just call all of it Viking politics, because none of it's new. None of it's new, and none of it's gotten any more sophisticated. The betting on whether people are going to fail to pay their loans that crashed the 2008 market, that's old shit. And so this is where Marx and Hegel, got the idea. The idea that rich people shouldn't be allowed to exist, because rich people are going to use their money to make sure that poor people can't get rich. And that's why the United States decided that corporations are people within the law, because corporations don't spend their money like rich people. There's an infinite amount of ad revenue out there to be gained by poor people who are excellent. What we have right now is a YouTube economy of rich people who aren't excellent. Agreed, Garrus. And there's no reason that our cities and our towns and our buildings and our walls and everything shouldn't be beautiful. There's no reason, with the number of people that we have, that we can't find a way to have beautiful walls. You're telling me that nobody has the money to commission an artist? Nobody? Fuck off. There just aren't enough artists. Well, we were just concluding a discussion, X Iron. Now I'm discoursing you. Why would I dislike walls? The Ed Show. There's a wall right behind me. Am I particularly antipathetic of it? I'm looking right at it. I wouldn't say it dominates my field of view, but certainly I'm looking right at it. I cannot explain what the painting behind me means. You'd have to talk to Rach, and she'd probably tell you that every interpretation of an artistic piece is valid, and if it makes you feel something, then whatever you think it is what it is. I wouldn't say I'm a drug addict, no, but I would say I'm very stoned right now, so, believe what you will. To each their own stupid consequence. How do you like that interpretation? Talk about what walls. What does that mean? Talk about what walls. What does that mean? Explain what wall. There's a wall behind me. Hello, Tiff. What up? I'm all right. I'm a little low right now. I need to get another bottle of water. I need to get another bottle of water. Oh, I'm trying to keep my energy level low. And I'm trying to talk myself out of putting music in my ears because I'm going to start singing. The day is still early. Hefty is fucking stomping around for God knows what fucking reason. I don't know what the fuck I did to her. She needs to stop being hefty and be glad. Fucking trash bag of a person. Sorry I said any of that. She might be able to hear all of it. In pain, call Shane. No shit. Wait a second. I need to watch this. In pain, call Shane. I needed to hear what you guys heard. That did sound like a radio ad. I'm pretty good at that. My pelvis hurts really bad today, Tiff, and if I'm gonna do high volume and I'm gonna really go for it in the way that I like without just sitting down here in this throat voice and sounding bored, it is going to hurt me bad. I don't know what time it is. I just looked and I don't remember. It's like 10. Yeah, it's just a little after 10. Hey, thank you, Andrew. I just saw that. I probably didn't need to say your name. I didn't know who that was associated with. You don't have to own it, but thank you. I don't check my notifications. I actually keep D&D off. Keep D&D on, rather. I keep it off. Hey, you have a good day too. XX Siren. Just quit fucking stomping. I probably could hear me. Took your kids to the zoo? What? The company the woman works for wants you to come see her? Are they going to give you a medal? Do you have to marry her now? Wait, the wheelchair bound woman is upset with you? There is 0% chance that I will go camping. Interesting, Tiff. What's up, Austin man? How are you doing? It was really hard for me not to go, what's up, autism man? I like pencils. Sorry that happened. I don't know that you have to surrender yourself to that, Tiff. I might just say, fuck all that. And wait for your subpoena. Because that sounds like they're going to try to criminalize you. I would stay all the way away from them. Indeed, Trista. I'd appreciate it if we just stopped fucking talking about it. I don't know what that means. Star. Yeah, I wouldn't. I would remain as anonymous for as long as possible, Tiff. Stay all the way out of it. They're going to try to get you to change your story. Is it banging? I could bring that up. She's a stomper. Some women are just like that. I'm sure there are men like that, but I've never lived with a man. Some people are just like that. Just got to make a bunch of noise everywhere they go so you know where they are. Like cats with bells. Well, maybe you thought wrong, James. How does that make you feel? You want to talk about it? It is, Austie, man. It's an original piece by Eminon143. I'm sure you could commission her for one of your own. How much did I pay for these guns? 15 years in the service industry. That's how much I paid for these guns. You thought wrong, Edmund. You did your best. How does that make you feel? Do I need to set out a couch for you guys? Which one, Chris? Aw. She is great. You don't think that I picked her up out of the fucking trash can, do you? I don't know. Value is determined by the buyer, Edmund. How much would you pay for it? Okay. So the bidding begins at $50. I'm not selling it, but it's worth at least $50. You know, appraisal begins in the eye of the buyer. Okay, but again, value begins in the eye of the buyer, Edmund. You can do the thing, but do you have a buyer? That's the difference in you and that guy. That guy had a buyer. He could do whatever the fuck he wanted. He already had the money. It was already valued. Someone thinks I'm being very funny. Or that they are. It's hard to tell with you chuckle fucks. Tiff is having fun with my language use today. You can't use that one, chuckle fuck. My dad would be proud. I'm tossing all the good ones out. My dad would be proud. Oh, I meant to do a thing, and then I didn't do that thing. I'll get to that thing. You're going to the grocery store right now? I know a guy. Yeah, I'm going to dig in my belly button. I'm in my home now. I'm allowed to dig in my belly button on screen. I had like a rash developing. It seems to be healing okay now. Thank you for your concern. I keep forgetting that you guys are down here now. Your ear is down here, not over there. Holla! And this is a reminder. Pardon me. This is a reminder to anyone who doesn't know that all of the proceeds of the coming shows, this show and all future shows until I say otherwise, all of those proceeds are going to go to get me something to do with my hands. I want a bass guitar real bad, real bad. But I've got access to a 6-string. So if you want to see me clean and restring and show you why I can't play guitar, I'm going to need the money. You understand what I'm saying? And so that includes watch hours. Watch hours are just the slowest form. It's all good. Oh, but these videos, yeah, I'm sure there's a music store. I'm sure there are several. These videos are not monetized for their watch hours. You're not going to be subject to ads while you chill at the vertical stream with Shags. I'm playing a video game. Why can't I play? My left hand, my dad destroyed my left hand when I was a boy. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if the light is good enough. Beyond that, my pinky is crooked. My pinkies are just genetically crooked. That's a family trait. I don't know if you can see it, but this bone is dramatically broken. My dad, when I was a kid, he used to play this game where he'd grab my hand and he would squeeze it like that. And I got to where I ignored it. I don't know if you can see that. But that's what it looks like when I try to curl my pinky. He used to grab my hand and do that until I cried out. And I just got good at ignoring it. And yeah, you can really see it there. He crushed it. He touched these two bones together. And so this broke dramatically. And so it healed in the way that it did. You can see that I don't really have dexterity in this. You can get it back. I was getting it back when I was playing my bass, but I can't chord changes. I can't. It's just, I tried and I tried and I tried. I got an acoustic, and my ex-wife, I'm certain that she left me because of that acoustic guitar, or that she encouraged me to spend my time fucking other people. So I would stop fucking around with that guitar. I can't. The pinky won't, and then my ring finger doesn't have the kind of independence. So these two fingers are just out. And so with the bass, I could make it work. But even playing like Jeremy, that bum ba da dum bum bum, right? That bum ba da dum bring, when he hits that chord, the getting my pinky and ring finger to land on those two strings at the same time, and I mean, you can see it that my pinky is dumb. It does not go where I want it to go. And so getting it to pin down on that was months and months and months and months of repetitive practice, to the point that I had to just take my hand like this and break that joint again and let it re-heal. I just sat there and pressed against it like that until I broke it. And then I had to let the muscles re-heal around it and rebuild them up. And so the guitar is just out of the question. The strings are too small. My hands are not accurate. I don't feel comfortable with it. The instrument itself feels dinky. Like the fucking my most recent ex, Kat, she bought me a Jackson Dinky, and that's how it felt in my arms. I'm a big dude. It felt dinky trying to like sit on the couch with it and play it. And so maybe like a flying V that I could like anchor, because I'm so big, that I could just anchor and play. And that way the traditional smallish 6-string bodies, the acoustic has a nice big body. And so I have access to an acoustic. So if I can get the money to get the stuff, to clean it, to restring it, picks, tuner, whatever else I might want for it to play it, yeah, I don't want Rach paying for this stuff, because it's stuff I'm going to be doing on the channel. And so I should be able to make that money in Patreon and YouTube payouts. You see what I'm saying? I should be able to make that money. That's attainable from what I made last month. But a bass guitar, it's a bigger instrument, and I've always wanted to play one. Always wanted to be good at it. It just took years of playing that bass and fucking with that finger to get any amount of competence. But my wrist is still fucked up. You know, my wrist is going to still be fucked up. I'm never going to be a virtuoso. No, I did not paint it. Rachie did. It's an original painting by Emanon143. E. Manon. Think emanate rather than imminent. She's at work, Tiff. For sure, Zach. All right, let me get up and get a water. Give me 2 minutes because I might go to the bathroom in the interim. Oh. Oh. My legs are so sore. So sore. Okay. That's what I'm the most freaked out about. Oh my God, that's gotten bad. It's just what it is. Oh my God, it's so bad now, though. Oh. It's not this colored, and I'm pretty sure that's just friction from my pussy. Because there's not splitting out or anything. Didn't hurt my urethra. My urethra's not misshapen anymore. Fuck. Oh. Oh. You guys are fun. I'm as okay as I ever am. Fuck. This is what we're doing, meme. Oh, come on. Let me out of this. There we go. Oh, same thing we do every day. Meme. That says Army. I thought that said meme Amy. Oh. Let's see. I have repositioned, so let me move this. Oh. If you say so, Joanna. You and I? No. Yep. You'll be all right. Oh, oh fuck. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Do you ask questions that I want to answer, Jane? Oh. Take care, Rusty. Oh. I hope you leave soon, Jane. Hello, Michael. Thank you for announcing that you have a question. What if you just said the question? I don't know if I want JD Vance, but he's going to be better than the alternative. Continuity and stability are the right choice. Super sensitive. I don't know what it sounds like, where it needs to be relative to my face. Marco Rubio is a trash person. I don't know why that has to be my binary of choices, Michael. Hi, bye, Rhea. Yes, I know, Tiff. I don't know what that means, Ember. Democrat? No. Thank you, Samantha. Go for it, Tiff. Yeah, I know. I don't know how sensitive this is. Usually I know it's supposed to go right here. It's supposed to go right there. Okay, Tiff. Gaming laptop. Okay, Tiff. Yes. The first place you're going to want to start is knowing what your specs are. So you're going to want to know you're going to want to know just what the hardware is inside it. There's a destination that you can arrive at. I think it's in the properties of the computer. I don't know the pathway to get there. Google, I would just recommend Googling it. Hey, where can I find my computer specs in Windows? That's where you're going to want to begin. And then depending on what kind of hard drive it has in it, you're going to want to do a defrag and an anti-malware just to have done it. Even if he did, you're just going to want to just know how to do a defrag and an anti-malware on a laptop. So just Google that process. And then, yep, you're going to want to know how to update that. You're just going to want to know how to do these things for yourself. Okay, take care, Rachie. You're going to want to know how to do these things for yourself. Okay, so not a bad laptop, and that's why I say the specs inside it. So if you don't know your laptop very well, I would recommend that you just spend some time. I would just recommend that you take some time and you get comfortable with booting it up and manipulating it. Get you a wireless mouse and just spend some time doing things that you're used to doing in it. So with your phone, go and that's one way to do it. But I would recommend because there are several workarounds that you can do that don't require you to open the lid of the laptop, turn it on, and engage in Windows. Because the first thing you're going to need to do is know how to use the Windows operating system that you have. Because one thing that happens when people get a computer for the first time is they're instantly overwhelmed with the operating system, and then they don't learn how to do anything in it, and then something goes wrong in a game that they love and they freak out and they have to go through all this process that I'm telling you to do right now. So what I would recommend is you just take some time, watch some videos, Google some stuff, and that you learn how to defrag if you're on an SD or an SSDD drive, solid state disk drive. Learn how to defrag. Learn how to just manipulate your computer files. If you're used to doing it in your phone, just practice it. Look for it there. Go through your settings. Just go into the properties of the computer and look at every single setting. Just take the time and do it. Just get used to it so that if something comes up, there's that little worm in your brain that's like, hey, I remember that. Or when you're in there looking for it, it's 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 familiar to you. It's not the first time you're there. Just build some familiarity. Lonk agrees. Just build some familiarity with the computer itself, the operating system, the way the keys feel, the way that the mouse, the touchpad feels, because it's used, it's going to have some unique characteristics from the way he used it. So just get used to the machine itself. Maybe, Istra. Yeah, learn how to defrag the hard drive. Learn how to update your drivers. I don't remember what the other one that I said. Learn how to do a malware. Learn how to sweep for malware. Even if you don't need it. Even if he gave you a perfectly wiped, effectively brand new computer. I love PCs. I love the experience of owning a laptop, of using and loving a laptop. It's something that I wanted desperately as a little boy. And yeah, I sense that with you, Tiff. And so it's okay. It's okay to just to be frustrated and to not understand, because you got to remember there's what 40 years of development behind operating systems, and they're still not perfect. Windows is still not perfect. You just got to learn it. You got to learn. You got to, like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, right? You just got to learn its quirks. Get used to where it hides the stuff that you don't really need all the time. Just get used to knowing that there's stuff. Yeah, Tiff. Yeah, a gaming machine is a different than a calculating machine. They made internet machines in the last couple of decades to get people comfortable with the idea that laptops can do a lot more than what phones can do. Um, and that's not even really that true anymore, just more powerfully. You're a Linux user? I think Mr. S was telling me the other day that he just switched his computer over to Linux. He's a more than avid Steam handheld. I don't remember what the Steam portable is called. And he's a more than avid user of the this. Is it called the Steam Deck? Well, you'll be able to play the newest Sims, maybe, Tiff. You have to look at your specs. Damn it. Heard that, folks. Thank you. Poke reduced himself to being a Pokemon addict in my company, and he doesn't have to prove that that's not the only kind of person that he is. But I do like it that he shares more of himself than just Pokemon. Maybe his tracks, but I remember my dad playing on computers in the 80s. Yeah, for sure, Pope. So real it's uncomfortable. Tiff has entered the uncanny valley of gaming. If I won the lottery today, the first 5 things I would buy would be a bass guitar and setup, a drum setup, a keyboard, an audio interface for the computer, and a state-of-the-art computer setup. Yeah, I knew that would happen, Tiff. So just... Art represents life. Istrax. Art represents life. Simulators have wanted photorealism since the 80s. Tiff, Rach had the same reaction to my laptop just the other day. Everything in moderation is tracks. What do you mean, Tiff? Phenomenal cosmic power. Heard that, Tiff. That's funny, Pope. That's right, Tiff. And Poke sold himself as that person early on, and I bopped him pretty hard in the fucking nose about it. I'm glad to see that he just does not care about what I think of how he presents himself. I enjoy seeing it. I never wanted him to care. You aren't who she's upset about. He's been collecting since we were kids. Correct, Tiff. Thank you for sharing his tracks. Not even sealed. I was just thinking that, Pope. I was thinking, what's more valuable to a man in his 30s, going into his 40s? What's more valuable? A Pokemon card that was for him a game or a brand new gaming rig? From TV to couch? 8, maybe? Probably closer to 7. Mm-hmm. You guys know the Magic Castle YouTube channel? They sell retro games. I don't know, Rachie. Anything more than 10 is probably too much. So fewer than 20, but more than 10. 15 would hit that sweet spot. I like I like those stores, but their prices are insane. It's not a real economy. It used to be 215s. It used to be. Not anymore, man. Now it doesn't make any sense. Like, for years, all I wanted was a working SNES and a copy of Super Mario RPG. And it's like, at the time, that was a $300, $400 purchase. Now, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what a working copy, not even in a case, not even with a dust screen, just a working copy of Super Mario RPG costs right now. Hello, Aya. I don't know that I dislike coconut. It is an original painting. It is the origin is the homeowner, and the homeowner is the person who chatted directly above you. I agree, Poke. I'm coming to that point. I'm coming to the point where let me finish that story, Poke. Let me finish it to you. The 4 years was ended when Super Mario RPG was released on modern hardware. So the longer it goes where they're not re-releasing these games on modern hardware, the more I'm starting to say, you know what, fuck it. Fuck it. The emulator is the only way I can play this game. It's not even owned by anybody anymore. Tiff wants you to know, Rach, that whatever you're bringing home to me is going to land with her. I don't understand what that means, Swamp. There are many games. Like I want to show you guys the genius of Shadow Hearts and Shadow Hearts Covenant. But I can't because it's not on modern hardware. So if I'm going to do it, I have to steal it. Have to. Pirate it. Call it whatever you want. It's like I did wait on all of the East titles to be available in English on modern hardware before I played the first one. I didn't want to steal from that illustrious franchise. And I don't want to steal from Shadow Hearts, but I'm about to. And I don't want to have to steal the Drakengard trilogy, but I'm about to. Square Enix should do better. You're silly, Rachie. They give up on great franchises. They give up on great artists, and then those artists get disenfranchised. Isn't the word I want to say, but that's close enough. And then they what disillusioned. They get disillusioned, and then they stop trying to make great art. Like the guy that made the roll around collect stuff off the ground game. It's not going to come to me. He really only made the one game. They released it a whole bunch of times, but he really only made the one. And I understand you got to pay your payroll and you got to sell copy. I do understand that. But that's the marketing team's job. I know. And not just see the collab, but see it work. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Who? Mm. My understanding is Square had been trying to license Mickey Mouse game for years, and that they finally got the rights to license a Mickey Mouse game. And then Tetsuya Nomura was like, "Hey, and what about Kingdom Hearts?" Mm. That's tart. Mm. I know. You guys can hear all my mouth noises. You'll be all right. Yeah, I'm sorry about it. I don't like it any more than you do. I fucking hate those noises. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for sticking with me through the transition. I could be on my headset. I could be on the laptop. I could be doing the dual stream, and this could be monetized. HD beard scratches too. Yeah, their offices were in the same building. That's correct, Poke. That's why they've been working on it for years, because Square had their corporate offices in the same as Disney's official headquarters. And so they all knew one another. All those corpo types, they all knew one another. They went drinking in the same watering holes. They knew one another. It just took forever to get it through Corpo Disney back in the States. Disney at the time was, and still are, but they were much more protective of the specifically Mickey Mouse image. And so, like, what's the one that everybody loves now? Is it called Mythic Mickey? The one, where it's like the paintbrush or whatever. They're making 4. I wish they'd. Well, now that I have access to a PS5, I wish they'd publish sooner rather than later. I'm glad you love the painting on the wall. That's my fiance's original work. Yeah. Disney used to be much more protective of Mickey Mouse because that was the 4 kids brand, and Mickey couldn't do things like kill stuff. That's my plan, Poke. I plan to swap that out as she makes original work and moves through selling them. That's the plan. She doesn't know it yet, but that's been the plan as soon as I sat down right here. That's why I don't show the whole piece. Yeah, because Disney Interactive had been active for a while. They've been trying to get Mickey Mouse and company. They've been trying to get all of those, the Disney princesses, all of it, into video games that had broad appeal, that didn't just have crossover or expanded universe, like video game. What am I trying to say? Like companion pieces to movies. They had been trying for a while to break into that. And then Kingdom Hearts opened the door in a major way. I've watched a couple documentaries about this. I don't remember the specifics, but Sega, they'd partnered with Sega and Konami, I think. Capcom, maybe it was. They'd partnered with a bunch of these guys. All right, take care, Rose. Crazy titles. Yeah. The PlayStation era, because of the Nintendo gold seal of approval. Nintendo and Disney are kind of exactly the same in this way. The Disney gold seal of approval limited to the Sega, basically, for American and probably even international audiences, the kinds of things that could be present in video games. And the PlayStation kind of got rid of that because Sony didn't care nearly so much as a way to compete with both Sega and Nintendo. And then by the PS2, because the graphics were so good, you could just do whatever you wanted. Yeah, so cheap. Yeah. Yep. It was cheap. You didn't need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of developers. Oftentimes, you could even on the PS2, you could still make a game by yourself. And you still can now. It just takes forever. Indie gaming kind of has, we were talking earlier about YouTubers using YouTube as a launching point instead of a platform. And I've noticed there are a lot of indie gamers, indie game developers is what I'm trying to say, indie game developers that you can tell are very much trying to get a job for a bigger company. Like they're not trying to make the kind of games they're making. They're trying to finish a game that will sell, that they can put on a resume. And that I don't like. I don't love that at all. The pipeline from indie to AAA is an interesting one, and I like when people are able to get that kind of increased funding, increased leadership skills, and institutional information is awesome in that way. But I don't see a lot of that happening. Like the company that made Celeste, they didn't get better at what they were doing. They grew apart and broke up. And so there aren't a lot of game studios that want to remain small and put out high quality games. And so I am partial to trying to buy their games, even if they're not for me. And that's just about collecting. So like the cardboard, being familiar with cardboard, I'm familiar with digital copies of games that I will never play. Megabonk is Schedule 1? I didn't know that. Okay. If I'd known that, I would have bought Megabonk months ago. I thought Megabonk was bullshit. I thought Megabonk was just the kind of game I was talking about right now. It just existed, so somebody had it on their resume. I thought it was kind of like a Goat Simulator or Deer Simulator, where it's just kind of like a joke that it exists. It's so good. Okay. That's right in my wheelhouse. I don't know if you know about me, Poke, but Brotato is one of my all-time favorite games. That shit's right in my wheelhouse. Right in my wheelhouse. I could be doing that right now, if I didn't want to play Final Fantasy X. So, and there's always that. If there's a game you want me to have, and you send it to me as a gift on Steam, I will play it for the channel. Even if you just send me the cash or whatever, or you're like, hey, here's a super chat, get this game. I'm a man of my word. I will honor that. There have been a couple of times, actually many times, during my homeless stage where people were like, hey, buy this thing. And it's like, oh, I really need that money for this other thing, but I'm going to buy that thing. I'm going to figure out the money for the other thing later because this was a gift for that thing. And so I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that. Keep honoring my gifts for what they were intended instead of what how I would prefer to spend the money. And yeah, I do like roguelites a lot. There were many months of my channel where that's all I was playing was roguelites. They are a great disconnect for a few hours kind of game. Even just a great disconnect for, I got 20 minutes, let me bang it, let me run in here and fail at Brotato 3 times, get frustrated, and then be late to what I was going to do. Yeah, I love those kind of games. And then, like, roguelites, to me, they fill the niche of the arcade. Because really, they're an arcade game. But you get better, right? Instead of having to play it in the same way every time, but knowing the secrets, you do get better. The ones that gate you to particular permanent upgrades can get kind of annoying, though. Yeah, I recently just completed all of the Brotates. I haven't got them all to level 5, but I've won with all of the Brotatos. Even the new one, the Beastmaster. I think I won with Beastmaster. I may have been playing with Beastmaster, the most recent. No, I wasn't. I know I wasn't. Yeah, I've won with all of them. And I've gotten 5s with all of them, but like 7. It might even be fewer than that, because I think I went back and got 5s with 2 or 3 of them. Lucky Slingshot's your favorite? That's cool. I don't know if I have a favorite. I just love that game. Actually, turrets of any kind are always my favorite. Turret builds are always my favorite. And so I like a turret build with the automated factory and then to stack as many trees as I can with lumberjack, and then just watch the game do its thing for me. That shit's fun as hell to me. I like to just watch it. Watch the. Oh, you know what? I bet Rotato would be incredible on this big ass TV. I had a place to stay before Tampa. Ouch. Yeah, I'm going to do it again. I'm not scared of some clip. That hurts. I'm a little scared of that clip now. I'm freaked out that it's telling me that the battery is going to die soon. It is. Okay, what time is it? It's a little after 11? Yeah, a little after 11. Open window? No, you do not. Let's see if I can. No. Okay. Take that out. Turn this off. It's a little after 11. We got 3 hours. I guess it only makes sense to go ahead and play some Final Fantasy X at this point. If I'm going to boot up my laptop and get everything set up, I'm not going to want to change the title of the video or the thumbnail. I'm a lazy piece of shit, and you're not the boss of me. So I guess the time has come. Thank you very much, Psalm. You don't have to do that so often, but thank you for doing it at all. It means a lot to me. Let's go ahead and boot up the laptop, get it connected to the TV, and reconvene in 15 minutes. What do you say? How's that sound? Play some Final Fantasy X, chill with my dudes. Huh? Probably get a little bit more stoned. And then Rach is going to come home and she's going to be like, "You're too fucked up to go grocery shopping right now." And I'm going to say, "I know. I'm in a lot of pain." You peer pressure and peer pressure. I do what I want to do. And my microphone is dead, so I don't feel like projecting that much. I can just strap that fucking thing right to my head. So let's do that. Let's do that. Ding dong, motherfuckers. I'll see you in about 15 minutes.